We started the new month of April and the new week with a visit to Pietermaritzburg, where we were racing at Hollywood Bets Scottsville. Now we are back in Durban, and it is a racing at Hollywood Bets Greyville. It is a polytrack racing starting at 12:35. It is an 8-race program. Just before we get into the card itself, a reminder, you can get in touch with us via Rex or indeed our WhatsApp number that is at the bottom of the screen, and it will be a recurring theme during this preview and every time a bet where you have sponsored a way to win is on your screens. Right, let's get to the first race of the afternoon. 1400 meters, the off time to 12:35 at www.tab Golden Maiden Plate. And we start off with Mr. Burrows. Now, a very good day to you. You were saying earlier that it was a good start to the week at Pietermaritzburg's the Hollywood Bets Scottsville. Do we have a positive start in the offing at Greyville on the poly, sir?
Well, it's not clear-cut, this race, but I thought the 2-year-old filly Glamour's probably the horse to beat. You know, her form's consistent. She went 1100 meters, and that was her best effort to date behind Grey Fantasy. It all depends on how she goes over the 14, but on pedigree, suggests that there's no concern. Last winter out of a Juddpot mare, surely she's crying out for 1400 meters. And she receives 7 kilos from horses like Tea Time Tipple. So it's a lot of weight to give away. I think Glamour's the horse to beat. I've got respect for Tea Time Tipple, but then again, I don't think he stays. I think he's a sprinter, and last time out, he took no interest whatsoever in running. He's been a beaten favourite in his last 5 or 6 starts. So I had enough of him quite a while back. If he wins, it wouldn't be a surprise, but I can't keep backing a horse that keeps disappointing. Always Shining, Richard Fourie takes the ride. He was beaten 7 lengths by quite a decent sort in Havana Moon. It was a fair effort. And then Hunter's Arrow, having his 22nd start, could get involved. So 1 to beat 4, 5, and 9.
1, 4, 5, and 9, the one at the top of the tickets, and that is in the colours of trainer Paul Lafferty with partners Muziene, who is certainly a regular rider for Paul Lafferty, is aboard. Now, as far as race number 1 is concerned, Glamour's is at 16 to 10 at the 4 tea time triple, 5 to 2, 5 to 1, and a better. Well, welcome once again, Mr. Marie. 1400 meters a trip to that first leg of the bipod, and I'd love to hear you say about a banker, but I know you're going to help us through the first leg.
Yeah, we're going to get through the first leg. I've played White Cecil. You know, the 2-2-year-olds, Glamours and Richard Fourie's mounts. Which one is that? The 9. Always Shining.
Yes.
They get their pool, their
allowance.
Weight for age allowance. And they are taking on moderate sorts. I mean, Tea Time Tipple is well exposed. So is Hunter's Arrow. So they could potentially get it right. But Tea Time Tipple, you know, they are removing the blinkers and stepping him up in trip. If he gets the extra, he could certainly win because he's more than capable. And then Hunter's Arrow, he'll be staying on in the latter stages. And he could get into the thick of things. So I've played wide. I went 1, 4, 5, and 9.
1, 4, 5, and 9. I can tell you that Mr. Jermaine Maharaj is very much giving Tea Time Triple a last chance. It is his best bet on the afternoon to get it right. Let's confirm the bipod courtesy of Mr. Marie. That is race number 1 off at 12:35. It is once again a reasonable outlay of 192 Rand. There is a banker, and that will be in race number 4. So the second exotic to get underway at Hollywood Bets Greyville, that is on the polytrack, will be race number 2. The PA is the commences in that merit rated 64, so we're early into handicaps, and the distance is 1600 meters, and our favorite is number 2 Ventador at 21 to 10, number 5 just for the penny at 28 to 10, 4 to 1, and a better bar those. So just for the penny this afternoon is partnered by Richard Fourie. He's been aboard twice, and he's hoping to strike at the 3rd time of asking. All right, Mr. Marie, race number 2, lowly handicap. It is a field of 7. There's a runner talking about the 7 that is tumbling down the handicap and was once quite highly regarded, I do believe.
Wave Warrior.
Wave Warrior.
Yeah, I don't know. He's going to have to start being very competitive now, or possibly head off to the show jumping arenas. Yeah, I mean, can't really be inspired from what he's been showing recently, but
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him feature because this isn't a strong field whatsoever.
Yes.
Cecil, Eventador, number 2. Now have a look at his rating.
Mm-hmm.
It's really come down. He gets the 1.5 kilograms off his back from Rachel Vienneke's allowance, and he comes back in trip, and this is most important. He's coming back to a mile, and I think that could prove to be the winning move. His form over the mile is very good. So first choice is number 2, Eventador. My roughie in the pack is the one at the bottom of the boards, number 4, Count Mosh. And I've said this recently, watch Mr. Hill's stable now, they have turned. Third run off the rest, Cecil. Have a look in his previous form lines. He hasn't got to a stage where he's had a third run off the rest. It looks like it's been stop, start for him. But now he's down to a 61. He cracks a draw. Last time out, they just looked to give him a further come-on run from the back of the field. This horse is capable of going handy on his day. So 2 from 4 for me.
2 from a 4. There has been a nibble at the 5, but just for the penny, Mr. Burrows, in race number 2. But I think you're looking elsewhere for that profit in race number 2.
Yeah, just for the penny is my clear-cut second choice because Richard Fariz opted to ride him. But Eventador, I think the punters out there can have a strike on this horse. Course and distance, 2 runs for a win and a third. He's won all 3 of his races on the poly. What's important, his rating has, in his last 3 starts, he's gone from a 70 down to a 64. And Rachel takes off another 1.5, which accounts to 3 points. So you could say he's racing off a 61. So if there's ever going to be a day that he finally gets back into the winner's box, it's going to be today. And I think he'll take a power of beating in this lineup. He's got the draw. He can just sit in the slipstream of a couple of runners that probably front runners in front of him, and he'll give that finishing burst. So I expect Eventador to win. And I have taken a double Eventador into Kingsmead's Crystal in race 4. You can get around 8-1.
Thank you for that. That's a heads up, and it is an ownership double that is being discussed at the 2 Eventador. That is the win selection that will be race 2 off at 13-10. It is, of course, as we mentioned, the start of the PA. As we update to that PA selection, courtesy of Mr. Marie, we can tell you as well there was a form update from just Monday gone. Drops 2 ways, in fact stays over the 1600 meters, changes surface, and that is Zumbomba. That is, in fact, wasn't Monday, it ran last week. There is that PA selection 2 and 4. That bank of 4, that is the one that is going to be the second leg of the double. And then race number 6, the 5 is also a bank outlay of 192 Rand. As we round off, Zumbomba, a runner recently, last Thursday at the Vol, finished 5th. 8.5 lengths behind Viva de Janeiro was favourite, and that was over the 1600. Right, we get into the pick 6 now. As Monday was very, very much a punter-friendly afternoon. Will it be the same on the Polytrack at Hollywood Bets Greyville? Well, let's have a hearing from Mr. Burrows, race number 3. It is a pick 6 that gets underway, and you're going to guide us through, navigate us through what hopefully will be another winning pick 6, race 3. This is a maiden plate, and that's over the 1400 meters of fillies and mares team up. And is a field currently at 10 runners.
Yes, and I think all 10 runners can win. That's how difficult it is. If I had to have a first choice, it would be between Radiant Heat, the 2-year-old that improved up in trip, and a horse like Ocean Palace that didn't see out the 1900 and she's back to 14. I like that run behind Pinstripe and Cuesta Equella. Gavin Lorena takes a ride. So I thought 4 and 6, but I've pretty much put the field in the exotics.
Okay, now, Mr. Marie, as far as race number 3 is concerned, you are doing the pick 6, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Burrows. I'm so used to his pick 6. Yours?
Cecil, let me just advise the viewers that this is a very competitive card. So if I get it wrong in quite a few legs, don't come down
Too heavy.
Too heavy, yeah. Yeah, I went 4 horses in the opening leg. I don't want to put out a too costly perm and still get it completely wrong. So Radiant Heat did improve last time out. There was a headgear change that I think it's blinkers and compression mask stay on, and we saw a winner from that form line, Cecil. Fatal Flaw with Pierre Stradon won quite convincingly over the weekend, and Mr. Species doing well in KwaZulu-Natal, so you have to respect her chances. I put in the 1. I know she's very limited, Purple Flower, but her last start is her best start to date. A little bit of concern. I know she's been scratched recently, and I couldn't find the reason as to why. I've gone with Darren Burrows' second choice, Ocean Palace. You know, she's changed yard. She's been thereabouts to date. This isn't an overly strong field whatsoever, so she could get into the mix. And then Tannin Princess, number 8. Now, Richard Fourie reunites us with his daughter of Karari, and I'm of the opinion that he gave good feedback to Mr. Funzel and bring her back in trip because she was overdoing it. So that was a disappointing effort on her behalf, but Richard knows her better in a race this time round, and she's lightly raced.
Okay, so that is the short list for Mr. Marie. As far as that pick 6 is concerned, don't worry not, we do have a banker. Let's go on to that selection, and that banker will come about in the form of a certain Kingsmead Crystal. That is race 4, number 4. That is Gareth Van Sale Jr. with Richard Fourie teaming up with a son, or daughter rather, of Visionaire. That is your pick 6, an outlay of 720 Rand. You will certainly get through the last leg if we get that far, which I'm confident we will, in spite of the selector indemnifying himself before the actual deed is done. Well, I did touch on Corner's pieces, Charge Zimbabwe in that form update from last Thursday. I nearly got confused because he's got another runner that is making a quick return to races after running on Monday in Pietermaritzburg. Before we go any further, it is looking at our social media contacts. Our X handle and the WhatsApp number are displayed on screen. It is a lot of racing leading up to the 6th of April. And dare we forget, it is a Champions Day and a World Pools Day at Turfentine Racecourse. Right, race number 4, your favorite is going to be number 4. Kingsmead Crystal, 3 times aboard for 1 winner. That is Mr. Richard Fourie. The 5, Mr. Leah La, is Muzi Yeni's mount, and she is currently looking at 5 to 1, and you get bigger odds about the rest. Vision of Will, in fact, is pretty shorter. That is actually shorter than Miss Leah La. That is at 4 to 1. Gavin Arena. He's been in KZN for the last couple of meetings. Right, Mr. Marie, race at number 4. Where are we going? Or do I need to ask? I think let's put it out there. Confidence from both Mr. Burrows and your good self, Kingsmead Crystal.
Yeah, Cecil, like I touched on, it is a tricky and competitive day's racing, and I had to take my chances and find a banker somewhere. Here's a filly that's coming into this race in cracking form. Now, you can see she's had 2 starts since returning from a rest, and both have been very promising. In the past, she got out of her ground in running, and in her last 2 starts, she's a little bit closer to the pace, which has assisted her being more competitive and consistent. So here's a filly coming to this race having her 3rd run after a rest, in good form. She finished well clear of the balance of the field last time out, herself and the runner-up. So in saying so, she did pick up a hefty penalty, but in her penultimate start, she should have the beating of Miss Liela. She's better off at the weight, and she was in need of that start. So I'm hoping she can get it right. A lot of people will say the form line hasn't really been franked. I think the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place runners all ran unplaced in their next starts, but I won't read too much into that because you have to have a look at what opposition she's taking on. There is a form update. I don't know if you touched on it.
Golden Aspen,
Yeah.
That is the one I was saying I confused with the Zombomb,
Yeah.
but that ran on Monday. You can give it to us.
Yeah, nice run. 3rd behind Harley's Fates, beaten a length and a half. Let's see how she goes. But I'm taking my chances over here. I'm certainly not going to go out and be having a punt on Kingsmead's Crystal, but in my perms and my exotics, I am banking.
The double should come through, Mr. Burrows, and we'll certainly be going out on the town to celebrate that 8 to 1 or so. You suggest that double will be worth with Kingsmead Crystal coming through to win the 2nd leg.
Yes, definitely. You know, she
Darren?
is the She is the right horse in the race, Cecil. This filly, last time out, she got the upper hand late to win going away with Richard Fourie in the saddle. He retains the ride. She's having her third run back. Everything in her favor. Even though her rating's gone up, 7 points. I still believe this is a very weak field, and it's not going to take much to beat this lot. So Kingsmead's Crystal, a bank in all bets, and I think she's worth a bet.
I'm sorry, I actually had lost you for a few moments there, so there was a role reversal. Usually I lose you, but you lost me for a few moments. I'm sorry about that, but there it is. That is a 4 Kingsmead Crystal rather, a win bet in race 4, and of course that will be part of the second the double with the Ventador also in the same source. That the former is from the Gareth Van Says stable, and the first one, Ventador, that is Alison Wright and Rachel Fennick. All right, so we get into our last jackpot with the running of race number 5 at Hollywood Bets Greyville. This is a fillies and mares 67 over the 1400 meters, and the current betting has the number 6, a Global Secret, Muziene Paul Lafty 5-2. The 3 Perfect Trust is at 15-4. It's 4-1 about the 2 English Primrose, and then it's 5s and better about those. Right, Mr. Marie. It's race number 5, a fillies and mares lowly 67 handicap. How would you go about negotiating race 5?
Oh, Cecil, hopefully by this time we can sit here and say that the form line has been franked with Kingsmead's Crystal winning. In saying that, even if she doesn't, I think Global Secret has to be a player over here. You know, she's pacey. She's course and distance suited. She should strip fitter because she needed her last start. She did say she did pick up a hefty penalty for running second on that occasion, Cecil. 2 kilograms or 4 pounds for running second. So I thought that's a bit on the harsh side. But yeah, if the form line's been franked, that will just give us a little bit more confidence. Let's see how she goes. I think she should be thereabouts.
Okay.
Number 8. Now just have a look at Global Secret's form line. 3 runs back, she ran behind, Drive By. Right. Now, I know Drive By has done a lot of racing since then. But Drive By beat her, and Drive By's 4.5 kilograms better off and has Richard Fourie in the irons. So I'm just going strictly on that form line. I'm leaning towards Drive By as the likely winner here.
If I was riding Drive By, would you still be bullish?
No.
Or is it the Richard Fourie effect?
No, well, she's beaten the favorite and she's better off at the weights. So
Okay.
Recently, you can't be overly excited with regards to her form, but she's very fit, I might add.
I had to come with a curveball. And by the way, you did a label Ideal Gift the last time it ran as well. Mr. Burrows, you've got a jackpot for us, and what really is a quite eye-catching or heart-rendering is the fact that you haven't got any bankers once again in the jackpot.
Yes, I know. My bankers came earlier on in the card, but this race I've actually gone the field because I don't like anything, to be honest. Perfect Trust, very speedy filly, goes to the head of affairs, usually gets caught late. Conchita interests me a bit, if not in need of the run. She's racing off a very competitive mark. She is a 6-year-old mare, so I'm not too sure. You've got Global Secret. Hefty penalty for running second last time out. 62 kilos, never easy. Also going to go up handy with Perfect Trust. And Drive By, in and out form. Richard Fourie gets the ride. Could be thereabouts. Others to consider, Natalia. She's lost her way a little bit. She's got the ability to go close off of 51. And Blush of Dawn, a 7-year-old mare. She hasn't been that consistent of late. English Primrose also has a chance. So I've touched on 7 of the 8 runners. The only runner I didn't touch on is Magically, because she's lost her early toe, and I don't think she stays 1400 meters.
Okay, so it is a tricky event. Does Mr. Marie also make it that way? No, he's gone quite keenly on the 2 horses that he isolated. That is the 6 Global Secret, the favorite, and a Drive By Richard Fourie for the Louis Hurston stable. 2-3-5 in the second leg. 235 in the third leg, and then it's that field that appears once again or recurs in race number 8, courtesy of Mr. Marie. 180 Rand is the outlay to that jackpot, starting with race number 5, the 5th of 8 at Hollywood Bets Greyville, and that is 1 minute to 3 the off time. All right, so we're getting to that last chance saloon as far as pick 3 players are concerned. That will be with the running of the 6th of 8. Now, this is the fillies and mares, 76 over the mile. And once again, a reminder of our social media details. It is our handle, X handle, as well as the number, the WhatsApp number to get in touch with us. All right, so it is midweek racing. We're previewing. It is on the potty track at Hollywood Bets of Greyville in KZN. Race number 6, Mr. Marie, at Track and Ball Gaming, fillies and mares, 76. Again, that tells a story. But here we've got Richard Free on the favorite, and you and I think, seem to be in the corner of something a bit more value.
Yeah, Petite Verdot is my confident first selection of yes. So I'm a little bit surprised to see Richard Free riding Spring Kiss over her. I mean, he partnered them both last night. Obviously, he's getting on extremely well with Spring Kiss. He's 2 from 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and she's in great form. But I really like the effort of Petite Verdot last time out. The race really wasn't run to suit, and she was over racing. And despite all of that, she finished that race off extremely well. So I'm of the opinion that Gavin's going to suit her. Hopefully can get her to settle in running. And if she just reproduces that effort this time round, I think she'll go very close to winning. So number 5 is my top pick. I've got respect for Spring Kiss. She's in great form. She's a handy type of filly from a neat draw, so a lot is in her favor. If you're playing trifectas and quartets, have a look at number 2, Hugs and High Fives, as the improver. Now, she's having her peak run. Ratings come down a bit to 70, but once again, you can say that Richard Free might have been offered the ride on her, and he's opted to go for Spring Kiss. So 5 by 2 and 3, I'd focus on that exacta.
All right. Mr. Burrows, I was flattering myself to say Mr. Marie and myself were on the same horse. I did also say I thought I liked it, but Mr. Marie has given us the intellectual outlook on the 5 Petit Bordeaux. Your thoughts on race number 6, Spring Kiss? Richard Free retains the ride, but it doesn't stop there.
You're right. It doesn't stop there. I thought a very tricky race. Spring Kiss is going to be given every chance from a 3 draw. Probably going to hit the front at the 300. And then it's very difficult to say if she's going to stay there, because she's beaten horses like Pretty Analia and Kitten's Adventure in 64 handicaps. This is a 76 handicap, but this is a step up in class. So it's difficult to say if she's up to it, but I wouldn't exclude her in anything. You've got Petite Verdot. She's consistent as you get. The drop back to a mile is going to suit her. She was only beaten 3 parts of a length by Minogue. She actually had Imperious Destiny behind her, and Imperious Destiny's got ability on her day, but her last run was too bad to be true. So others to consider: Questo Equello and Baby on Board. They're not out of it either. Hugs and High Fives, I'm not sure she sees out a mile. She's out of that speedy Dam Forest lecture. So I don't know where to look in this race, to be honest.
All right, race number 6, well, Mr. Marie has the onerous task of giving us a pick 3 and very much the first 2 legs, in keeping with his pick 6 and his jackpot earlier on, 2, 3, and 5, by 2, 3, and 5. And then he narrows that last leg where he's gone the field in the pick 6 and the jackpot. He's gone 1, 3, 6, and a 9 in that last leg. That'll be race number 8. Who's going to run off with the big one on Saturday? Can give me make it another Group 1 success that she is challenging, of course, in the Empress Club Stakes. They have decided to do away with the quest for the Triple Tiara. Give us your thoughts. That is, and of course, the Marauding Horde. Could that be a memorable double for the De Kock stable? Marauding Horde certainly looking to be on the up. But let's talk about midweek racing, and that is on Wednesday, coming through from Hollywood Bets of Greyville in the heart of KZN, and that is Durban. Now, as far as race number 7 is concerned, Mr. Marie, give us your thoughts to race number 7, because again, another trappy contest. This is a merit rated 70. 1:54 over the 1900 meters. And all around the world, Richard Fourie now, he's looking to make it a 3-year ride on the bounce that he's ended up in the winner's box. And overall, 4 rides, 2 wins and a third.
Yes, Cecil, this was since they removed the blinkers and put him over ground. He's a different sort. Excuse me, Cecil, he can overdo it in front. I think he's going to string this field along. And he did pick up a hefty penalty for winning last time out. Form line hasn't really stood up. I think all of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 8th horses all ran unplaced in their next start. But you know what? He's in good form. He's going to probably be up front. He's very fit. Who says he can't keep rolling? So I respect his chances. Number 3, Only a Poet. Now, this horse won a very, very, very shallow maiden. It was a weak field, to be quite frank, Cecil. And his next start, his only handicap effort, was a decent one. So I think he improved leaps and bounds with the fitment of the blinkers. He was actually overdoing it in running. And with the likes of all around the world in this race, and a few other horses that go handy, Blazing Light, Famous and Rich, I think Only a Poet will settle this time round, and he could go close. But I also like the look of number 5 over here, Fire Flare. Now, I've expected more from him, but you can see his rating has come down. He's been staying on in the latter stages of his last 2 races, and another that's going to be suited by the hot pace. So I went numbers 2, 3, and 5 here.
2, 3, and a 5. And of course, it seems that there has been a bit of improvement with those blinkers on. No doubt, shortage of fitness in the 7 camp. That is a Circle of Grace, Mr. Burrows, that ran just a couple of days ago. And that is on Monday at Hollywood Bet. Scottsville finished, in fact, again last Thursday, rather, at the Vol. 3rd, 6.5 lengths behind King's Express. Is that part of your play? I know you're going to give us a bet for race number 7.
I've included him for 2nd in the quartet, but I've only gone 2 and 4 for 1st. Now, all around the world, since being stepped up in trip, he's a different horse altogether. He just strings them along, goes to the front, and doesn't get headed. So Richard Fourie in the saddle once again, he'll be given every chance. And it all depends on if he's going to stay there or not, the final 200 meters. The danger could be Famous and Rich. I think the step up in trip, he's run 2nd off Sundance Kid, who's decent. He's got 61 to shoulder, but you know he's one of more competitive marks than this, or higher marks than this in the past. He's got the ability. So 2 and 4 to fight it out. And I've got respect for this horse, Fire Flare. A lot of the time he catches the eye late. And his last run wasn't bad, but they said not striding out. So Fire Flare and Ricardo for minor money, but all around the world and Famous and Rich to fight out victory.
Okay, let's confirm that selection 2 and 4 to win by 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, and then it's field for 3rd and 4th. That's a quartet suggestion. A full unit, 448 Rand 80. No doubt you'll be going for that percentage, and that still would be a very attractive position, especially the 3rd and 4th legs, the 3rd and 4th positions, if they should be taken out by outsiders. Right, open looking end to racing at Hollywood Bets are great. Well, this is a bright future merit rate at 82. It's over the 1,000 meters. And the 3 Chara Sands is your 92 favorite. 92 out of 5 to 1 is the 9 Mask On. It is 11 to 2 and a better bar. Those a reminder of our social media contact details. It is X, and of course we have that WhatsApp number that has been popping up at the bottom of our screens. We really do look forward to your input. That is the story as far as contact is concerned. Now we've got to get through race number 8, the Get Out Stakes. It's over the 1,000 meters, the highest rated race on the card, and we've got a very open looking race with Chara Sands 9 to 2, and I do believe our expert in computer form, Mr. Jermaine Maraj, has made this his value play of the afternoon.
I liked his chances last time. Yeah, so was a decent enough effort, and I can see him featuring off here, Cecil. The suggested bet of here is not one of confidence. I'm hoping number 9 Mask On can run into the money. Have a look at his 2 starts since returning from a layoff. His penultimate start was in a MR94, Cecil. He came into that race so far under sufferance um, that was a great effort to be only beaten 4 1/4 lengths by Hit Them Hard Sunshine. Then in his second start, it was on turf, and he had a terrible draw to contend with. He's now back on the poly track, his preferred surface. Peak run after a layoff, and his ratings even come down to a 74. He just needs a little bit of luck in running from a tricky draw, and hopefully he's not caught too far behind turning for home. So I'm just saying he'll be running on in the later stages, and I'm hoping he can fill in a trifecta position over here, number 9, Mask On.
Yeah, as you point out, it is a peak runner. It's 2 wins since coming off that third run after a rest, and also run second. So that is certainly encouraging. And the jockey, 4 rides for 2 wins and a second. So all in favour. Now, Mr. Burrows, your input, and are we in the corner of the 9 Mask On or the weak favourite number 3 Chara Sands?
I thought the horse to beat was Hope is Power, number 4 on the card. He's got 4 kilos off his back, 56.5 kilos, which pretty much puts him on a winning mark, or a competitive mark, should I say. Last time out, everything went wrong around him. You can put an absolute line through that run. And his last run before that, over 1,200 meters, was a winning one when beating Tribute to You in December. So I think over the 1,000 meters, it won't be too sharp. He's been competitive over the 1,000 before, and I think he's the horse to beat. And I've got respect for B52. His last run, he showed plenty pace, and he just faded out of contention late. Back on the poly, he could be competitive. So 4 to beat 1.
4 to beat 1, and just to confirm that we do have a scratching that has come through as we were running towards the end of the show, and that is the 8 Q the Rebel. I think it is insufficient recovery time given as a reason. 8 Q the Rebel. That leaves us a field of 9. 9 Mask On, that is the play suggestion of Mr. Marie. That is Louis Gerson teaming up with regular rider Chase Mojan. This is a 4-year-old son of Coup de Grace.